Hello everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to episode 10 of Q-Tech. I'm going to pivot a little bit. Instead of going for oil first, I realized that we are within reach of getting to the digital miner. Although it is quite a bit of stuff to get there, but getting to oil and plastic is also quite a bit of stuff as well. So I'd rather get up the digital miner and get it started doing its job, working passively while I get working on expending resources to get more resources for lack of a better terminology there. So let's have a look at where we're going. Oh, first things first, while I was in the nether, I did manage to grab blaze rods. Blaze rod ends up being a much better tool rod for our tools. So let's just take a look at this guy here. So if we put that in there with the tool rod, we can see that we go from 10.83 and 10.2 on our harvest speed and attack damage to 12.25 and 12.41, so increases on both of those. And then the durability goes up to 35.04 from 31.62. Now, the one thing I was concerned about before putting on this tool rod was, does the durability amount scale proportionally or does it scale flat? And I did the math on it and it scales flat. So 2234 minus 3162, it's about, what, 68 points of difference. And if we look at that there, sorry, it's just shy of 1,000 points of difference there, and again just shy of 1,000 points of difference here by like what, 20 or by 28 points less than 1,000, and a little bit less there. So it might even be better just to kind of boost this up a little bit. So I've got 2 of the bismuth ingots ready to go here, just to compare about how much. We may as well grab a diamond too and see what that adds. I don't have any compressed iron left, but I've got enough diamonds. I'm not too worried about maybe spending one if it gives me a better proportion of. So the bismuth steel takes me from 2234 to 2773. 2638, so that's less. And that goes to 2759. So the bismuth steel does the best on those. Then I also calculate if I put this one in, it'll go all the way up to the top. So we're losing a little bit of on that, so I'm just gonna grab it and do it that way, and then just bang like that, get the new tool rod on there. We get the iron rod back. That's actually, I wasn't expecting that, so that's something to note there. So the only other one to test would be the compressed iron ingot to see what kind of durability change that gets back for how much resources we got to put in, but the bismuth and the bismuth steel, the bismuth bronze and the bismuth steel aren't too bad on resources really, so I'm not horribly worried about it at all. Let's take a look at the road to the digital miner. So this bad boy is a super complex craft. So we've got a steel casing. We've done this before, so should be nothing new for anybody there. The next one along the lines is an atomic alloy. And as we get into exploring a lot of things, we're going to see this repeat over again. So we're going to need quite a few of these. So an atomic alloy is done with the refined obsidian in the metallurgic infuser with reinforced alloy. Reinforced alloy is the infused alloy done with diamonds. So if we do 8 of these, right, we may as well put 1 diamond into the not the compressor, this guy here, the enrichment chamber, so that we get the plate out of it. Right? And the enriched diamond. Then we'll do 8 of those, and then we can go back and just do 8 of these atomic alloys, because, like I said, we're going to need them all over the place in this recipe here. The logical sorter, pretty simple stuff here. Just iron and a couple of piston, so we need 2 of these, so that's pretty easy stuff there. The next one is the Robit. Robit is sort of like something in Mekanism that'll follow you around and help you pick up stuff, but I'm not too interested in exploring that aspect of it, but we need it to do the craft here. So again, we see another atomic alloy here, some steel ingot, energy tablets, which we've done in the past. Then we've got a couple of new things, a refined obsidian ingot and a personal chest. If I'd known about the personal chest earlier in the pack, I wouldn't have bothered with the backpack. Just a hint there, this works kind of like an ender chest. But let's look at the crafting portion of it. Refined obsidian is done in an osmium compressor. Oh, so we need a whole new machine as well. So in the osmium compressor, you just take some of the refined obsidian dust, which is just obsidian dust done with some more diamond dust, so you're going to need to spend more diamond to get there. And that's done in the osmium compressor, which is a machine unto itself. Fairly simple craft, but we do need a couple of advanced control circuits, but those are pretty simple at the end of the day, just infused alloys and basic control circuits, which we've all done in the past. So as you can see, if you're watching this in the past, or with like you're not waiting to get up to this point, just make tons of infused alloys, tons of basic control circuits, because they keep getting used in recipes. So having tons of these on hand just saves you from doing more again. I wouldn't do like 10 stacks of them, but you know, doing a couple of stacks isn't going to hurt you at the end of the day for what they cost, right? Just osmium and redstone, especially if you're doing your redstone one, converting it over to the enriched version. So that gets us the osmium compressor. It just takes an ingot of osmium to operate it. And that'll get you your 200 millibuckets of the liquid osmium if you put your osmium here. And then the 1 refined obsidian dust, and you get your ingot. And the other thing for the Robit is the personal chest. This thing is pretty simple in itself, just glass, steel, chests, and a basic control circuit. So I was going to make another one of these for myself, but I've already got the backpack anyways, so I'm not really using a lot of the space in the backpack, so I'm just going to hold off on doing that right now until I need to pull anything together. So the last item in the digital miner that we need are these teleportation cores. This gets into a rabbit hole into itself, which is lots of fun. So we've got some lapis, more atomic alloys, so we need 2 of these, so obviously we need 4 atomic alloys just for these guys alone. Gold ingots, and then these ender cores. Ender cores are done in the energizing, which requires an energizing orb and some energizing rods as well. Now there's these, the typical thing for the power mod is you've got these 7 tiers here available. So there's starter, basic, hardened, blazing, niotic, spirited, and then nitro at the top end. So I've got these crafts lined up and so then there will need an eye vendor, dielectric casings, and basic capacitors. Tiny version. So the tiny version is just the basic capacitor, spits out 2 tiny basic capacitors. And these are just redstone alloy, refined iron ingots, and 2 of dielectric base. From what I've found so far, getting just to the digital miner itself without getting into too much more of the power mod itself, is we need a lot of dielectric base, a lot of refined iron ingots and a real good amount of redstone alloy ingots. So get prepared, get this a lot of that stuff made up, because it'll just make your life easier at the end of the day. So we go back here, the undercore. So we'll need the energizing orb and then one or multiple of these energizing rods. Just the more rods that you have, the faster the crafts go, right? Because this takes 50,000 RF or FE. They're interchangeable, so it doesn't matter which one you're thinking of. Eye of Enders, just your basic Minecraft stuff. An Ender Pearl plus a Blaze Powder gets you an Eye of Ender. Then the Dielectric Casing is more refined iron ingots, and then these horizontal and vertical dielectric rods. These are done with iron bars and more tons of dielectric paste. You do get 8 out of it, but you burn through these rods really fast. So we'll just go over how that crafting works as well. So once you've made your energizing orb, which is just another casing, 3 horizontal rods and some glass, and then we'll go with the basic energizing rod, which is made from a starter rod. So we'll start with the starter rod. So you've got a horizontal, a couple of basic capacitors, and some nether quartz. That'll get you your starter rod that only transfers 10 FE a tick. That's abysmal. That's really bad. We don't want to go there. So let's bump this up to the starter. Doesn't look too bad. We don't need anything too fancy here. Just you got to make the starter rod, and then add in a couple of more, little bit more advanced items, and then you'll get your basic rod, and that's doing 50 a tick. So yeah, you immediately get 5 times the speed out of just going up that one step. Then I took a look at doing the next step, but then that's, oh, there's something different here. So hardened capacitors. Hardened capacitors are made from making a large capacitor, dielectric paste, and some of this energized steel. So the large capacitor is not too bad. It's just 2 basic capacitors put together. However, the energized steel is made in the energizing itself, and you need a piece of steel and some electrum. An electrum is, if you're not familiar with modded Minecraft, it's silver and gold put together. So silver and gold alloy smelted together gets you electrum. So if you want to go for that, that'll get you from 50 to 120. So if you're really looking to get up to the next level, then yeah, definitely recommend going to there. Or you could make 2 energizing rods, and that gets you basically to where 1 hardened, or yeah, 2 basics get you to basically where a hardened is. And then if we look at the uses on that, going up to the, no, I took away use. Let's get that, and the blazing one up there again. So yeah, oh okay, yeah. It was hardened is the one I was looking at, right? Use, hardened, recipe. There we go. This is the one I was looking at, not this guy. So yeah, getting 4 energized steel out of it is, you know, you need a fair amount of investment just to get there. So I just kind of stopped once I got to the basic level. So I've made one up here already. I'll just retrieve that out, but you just kind of right click these guys in there, and then you'll get this little laser beam going from your thing into the form, and then you can see the progress bar up there in the 1 probe, so that'll tell you how you're going along. This craft's not too bad, so it goes along fairly quickly, especially if you're multitasking and doing other things at the same time. And it's at the rate that this guy's working at, it's not even draining power out of the system without any other machines running. I think I had maybe one or two of the other machines running. The next thing we're going to look at is once we get our digital miner, we're going to need to power that bad boy. And I don't want to do it with just these wind generators. I mean, I could probably make two and it might be better off, but I'm going to actually try to make one of these power thermogenerators. So I took a look at getting into these guys, and once again, they've got the 7 levels, just like everything else in power. Starter, basic, hardened, blazing, niotic, spirited, and nitro. So looking at the starter one, again, stuff we've seen already earlier in this episode, but something new called the thermoplate. And this is where we start to chew through some of those blaze rods we've collected in the last episodes. So 4 blaze powder for each of these thermoplates needed. If you're just crafting these in your crafting grid, you only get 2 per rods, so we're going to need to be a little bit more efficient with those blazing rods, unless you want to just spend hours standing beside a blaze spawner farming those guys, which I don't feel like doing. I don't think anybody feels like doing. So we need to make that a little bit more efficient, which we need to do with the crusher, because the crusher will get 4 blaze powder out of each rod instead of 2. So we need yet another machine. So I just went with the basic crusher for now. We can always get that upgraded if we find ourselves using it a lot. It's a little bit more involved to get to the upgraded version, but not too bad for the base version here. Just 3 bronze, 3 aluminum, which is what's it called? Bauxite is what you find it called, the ore. One of these stone machine frames. We've made these in the past, but to review, you'll need sapphire glass and an elite control circuit. So on top of the advanced control circuit, you'll need a couple of reinforced alloys over that. So a little bit involved to get the stone machine frames, but not too bad overall. You get your crusher, then you'll get your double up on your blaze powder, because to get to the basic level of thermogenerator, we're going to need 2 more. So I ended up eating 5 blaze rods just to get to this basic thermogenerator. And this guy will generate 8 a tick, whereas the starter only gets 3 per tick. So we're not going to be making a lot of, but I think it also matters what we put underneath it. So the way that guy works, and we'll just go ahead because I've got it all queued up to be made here. And just to note that sometimes it won't put the Pretty Pipes crafter won't put some items in there, notably like energy tablets and other like necessary machines won't go in there automatically, but we can always manually put it in there. And then from there, I'll need to go grab. So we've got 2 options. And I'm going to explore both of them here just to see what we got. So we can put something hot underneath the thermogenerator for it to generate passive energy. Now the key here obviously is that we want it to be passive, because we don't want to actually have to be burning stuff while we're passively generating the materials in the digital miner. So that's why my choices were either do more wind turbines or get something different, and the thermogenerator is kind of where I'm leaning. Not that I know that it's going to be really good or not, but I guess we're going to find out here together. I guess I probably should have done a /home rather than climbing my ladder back up, but I just always keep forgetting about that thing that we can do that. So let's just put that there. Oh, I need coolant. All right, so let's go grab a bucket of water. There we go. So it's working at 75%, so we only get 6 per tick there. And is the water, so the water goes down, so we're gonna need to find a way to get water into that bad boy. Then I guess if we just take a wild guess at it here, this will get us up to 100%, which will get us our 8 per tick. So that's actually really, really bad. Really, really bad. So probably not worth the craft until you're going to get up to the highest levels. 200 a tick, 90 a tick. So this wind generator here, which is super simple to make, is giving us 65. So to even match 65, we need to get, need to at least get to a niotic. And so we're going to need some of these bad boys, which is energizing amethysts and diamonds. And then yet lots more diamonds required to get there. And how much FE do these guys take? Yeah, that's a lot there too, so not too bad for a passive system, I guess. And maybe I'll just switch around my windmill for this guy. And we'll see how that works out. Just make sure that guy doesn't fall into the lava. But yeah, that was it for this episode. In the next episode, we'll put together that digital miner. I think this actually should be done. So maybe we can get the digital miner here today too. Is there anything that I'm missing? I don't think so. So we'll get the 2 teleportation cores and then we'll be done. Two of those bad boys in, and oh, I didn't make the Robit. Didn't make the Robit. Robit. Not sure how we're supposed to. So here again, we'll see that energy tablets and the personal chest didn't get pulled, but at least it pulls it to somewhere where we can grab it, right? And this will get us our next achievement. Oh, and then these logistical starters. I don't think I reviewed the logistical starters, did I? Oh yeah, I did. Yep, those are really simple. So there we go. We've got a digital miner. Big boy. Real badass machine, actually. Can't wait to get going on it. In the next episode, we'll probably dedicate almost the entire episode to getting this bad boy up and running and using it to our greatest efficiency, or not greatest, but relative, you know, just not making a mess of it. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thumbs up if you enjoyed, and please leave a comment if you have any questions or if I've missed anything. I appreciate you all, and we will see you in the next one.